thanks for joining us on the premiere episode of Trader Babes. My name is Erica. With me is Aria.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Erica. Excited to be here for our first episode.
So am I. And soon we'll be joined by our very special guest, LadeBackk, speaking with him about trading, the market, and answering questions submitted to us on Twitter by our fans. First, let's talk about what happened in the market this past week. I know we saw a continuation of a lot of turbulence, and what was something that stuck out to you the most?
Well, yeah, there's absolutely some inconsistencies going on in the market right now. As SPY holds strong and, the past couple of weeks making higher highs, we see this downtrend on the growth stocks and techs, which are, I personally use usually as a indicator to tell me like the health of the overall market. But, there is definitely right now something brewing, or, SPY is bullish and right now very strong indicators. But at the same time, you see this lagging growth stocks.
So basically a lack of clear direction on what the market is doing and where it's going to go, right?
Yeah, for now, absolutely.
So many traders, especially when first starting out, feel like they need to trade every day. They're not sure what to do. And what ends up happening is they're forcing trades instead of actually following their preferred setups. What are you waiting to see right now?
Well, right now I am trying to manage my patience, and I'm a firm believer of you don't have to trade every day. I'm personally waiting for to seeing some healthy trends within these growth stocks. And if I do trade anything, it'll be equities, not options. There's much more risk involved when there's inconsistency like that going on in the market. So SPY looks good right now as a temporarily bullish indicator, we'll know soon which direction to take.
Yeah, I mean, no one really knows what's going to happen exactly, right? Everyone's offering their opinion on, it's going to hit this number and then bounce to this number. And no one really knows exactly what the market's going to do, right?
Yeah, no one can tell you right now. If they do, it's, I don't know, maybe they're way smarter than me, but right now there is no indications, but there's of course a lot of anticipation of a correction or a crash. But there's different scenarios that can play out. So we can make higher highs, and we could go to 420.69 as my room likes to put that price target, and then we could have a correction down to 200 moving average, which is currently around 350 on SPY. Or, we could make lower lows. We could go to SPY 180. Who knows? Like, we could see a lost decade or a bear market that lasts over 8 months. So, but that's the good news, is that we are going to know. Like, if we wait and have patience, you can catch really big moves and make a lot of money. So for example, if I'm going long this market, what I'd like to see is that growth stocks show some life. They start to come back, and I'd like to see SPY being kind of overextended, in my opinion, to hold the 5 moving average. It's not my business whether it's overextended or not. Like, I go with my daily chart. So if I have a break of 50 moving average, for instance, and the next day continuation, I'm all short, So, whether you think we're going to keep going up, whether you think we're going to crash, uh, bias kills.
Right. And the seasoned pros who have been doing this a long time, they're relying on their indicators to let them know the direction that it's going. So one thing I like to do, and I tell other newer traders to do as well, is to pay attention to what they're saying. People who have been through this year after year, you can see how they're adjusting their trading styles, how they're maybe adjusting what kind of positions they take. Like you said, instead of playing options, you're trading equities. Mm-hmm. And I think that seasoned pros do this all the time. And I think that that's something newer traders don't understand, is how much you need to sit back and listen and watch how these people continue to make profit through times like this. Because that's how you know who really knows what they're talking about.
Exactly. And it comes with time, Erica, like I had past few weeks, 3 weeks ago, I had few very bad red days. And, no matter how much I can sit here and say, don't be biased, it's no matter who you are, you're going to have, you're going to make some mistakes, and you just have to be able to recognize them quickly. So when that happened, I figured I either stay out or I go back to trading penny stocks, where, because I know, I used to play that. I know it. I know my technicals. I have no bias, So when I feel like bias is taking over, either I have to stop or I have to go back to my toolbox and get, a different sector.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm so excited to hear what our guest has to say about this too, because he's been trading for many years, and I'm sure he has his own strategies of how to continue making profits during this time. Do you agree? You want to hear what he has to say?
I do. I'm very excited.
So as you know, before this episode, we gave the LadeBackk fans a chance to submit their own questions on Twitter for us to make him answer on the spot, which he has graciously agreed to do, as well as speak with us about his own trading journey and take on recent market action. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our very first guest. He's a pro trader, food aficionado, and an honorary trader babe. You know him as the one and only LadeBackk.
All right, let's go. LadeBackk.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to see you guys actually put this together. Because I think it's awesome to have a lot of to have female traders do this, because there's a lot of guys, but there's no girls doing it, but there's a lot of girls trading. So I think a lot of people could relate to you.
Hopefully the girls will start feeling like they can come out of their shells a little bit after seeing us do it. They don't have to hide anymore.
Yeah, you girls are smarter than us, so you could learn quicker. Yeah.
So as I was telling Arya, you are easily one of my favorite traders to follow on Twitter. And the subject of so many traders are currently discussing is what we just heard from Arya, the uncertainty of market direction and how, if at all, to make adjustments to your trading style to adapt. Do you make any changes to your own trading right now?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm still trading the big board stuff. But yeah, depending on certain conditions of the market, I'll switch to OTC. Sometimes I'll avoid options. Sometimes I'll play options. Sometimes I'll avoid the whole broader markets altogether, and I'll only play OTC because it's not affected by that. Sometimes I'll play futures because they're so cut and dry. Sometimes they're so easy. It just all depends. I have many different avenues to trade with. So
if you start with a small account, did you build yourself up from small account, the whole PDT rule, which so many, are suffering from, because, there's definitely a good and bad in having a small account.
So I got lucky. So I told you I was doing this when I was younger, and then I did it again
Like I started up again like 5 years ago. But when I did it, I got lucky because I only started with like $2,000, and I lost all of it. So then I like put another $2,000 in, and I lost all of that. And it wasn't a big deal anyway, because it was like I was only putting in like $2,000 at a time, because I was trying to like just find my like what I wanted to do. So then the third time I put like another $2,000 in, or like 2,500 or something, and I finally like hit like a nice one, and I held on to it. Was a penny stock, and I held on to it for actually like I think it was like 5 weeks or something. I actually stayed in it because I believed in the hype. I was like, are you selling? And he's like, yeah, I'm selling. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll sell. So we all sold, and we didn't realize we sold the top. And then we just watched this thing just like tank and never came back. And that's when it like clicked with me. That was like the first I realized, like, these things don't come back. And then I kind of put all that money into another one. And then to this day, I haven't been able to do it again. But I hit like 3 really, really, really big runners. And I just compounded the money like in each play, going all in. And to this day, I've never been able to go all in on 3 plays back to back. Like I just haven't been able to do it. But the reason I haven't been able to do it is because now I almost know like a little too much, where like I don't trust anything and I don't believe in anything. So it's hard for me to like hold for the moon like I did when I didn't know, like you know what I mean? So now I just take profit. I don't know. It could be like a personality thing, like a personal, I don't know what it is. Like me, I have no attachment, so it's easy for me to like. I just don't like my money is more important than the stock. So if I'm red, like I care more about my money than the freaking stock. So if I'm losing money on it, like I want my fucking money.
Amazing how you cut that at the beginning. That's how I feel now. But like,
yeah,
the beginning, it's amazing how we're already.
When you first began trading, what would you say you struggled with the most, and how did you overcome it?
All right. So the reason why I kept losing my money when I first started was because I kept buying tops. Literally everything I bought was at the top. And I went through, because I kept buying tops, and I was like, what the fuck? So then I started going through every single forum. I started noticing who's posting, and like who's the same certain people are posting on every play that I was in. Then I went through their post history. I tracked down like where they were posting, when they were posting, who else was posting in the same stocks. Then I started to,
That was your DD?
I had to deter, like, one thing about me is I don't lay down for anything. Like if I'm losing money, I'm going to figure out what the fuck's going on one way or the other. So I determined exactly what was going on. There was like this is me, by the way, not knowing anything about penny stocks. I determined there's a ring of like pump and dumpers running around, hyping up all these fucking stocks at the top while they're like secretly loading the next one. And I went around and I like basically started to realize like, okay, who do I follow? Mm-hmm. Like, who are the guys that are in all these damn things first? But then, like, at the same time, like, knowing when they're full of crap, like when they're posting, like, all this shit. So I was determined to, like, figure out that I was buying, like, I realized I was buying tops and I was buying all this garbage, right? So that part, because I was doing it wrong. I was following their posts, but I wasn't realizing that, like, I was literally buying the hype posts when they were trying to sell. And then on top of that, I started to analyze the charts because I was like, I just started analyzing the charts and I was like, it has to be, there's a correlation here where every stock I'm buying is going down after I buy. And then I noticed that all the charts are looking the same. And I was like, okay,
What,
There's times-
you know, we know a lot of big influx of new traders about following people's calls. Like,
like for me, you know, it's like people, you don't know what I'm doing. Like, you don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what other people are doing. You don't know how they're trading it. And you might not even know, like, why you're buying something. Like, I know why I'm buying. Like, I actually know why I'm buying everything I buy. I don't really always post why I'm buying everything I buy, because at this point, I feel like if you follow me, you kind of know, like, most of the stuff I call out is like pretty solid. So like, I'm not going to call it out if it's like junk. Not everything is perfect, but like a lot of it's pretty good. So like, I just feel like if you're going to follow, I already bought it for a reason, right? So like, you know, I get a lot of flack on a lot of these stocks that I trade that end up dipping. And, you know, you'll see that I play it every day, and you might look at the chart and you'll be like, the stock's red. Why is this guy cheering about a stock? It's like red. How is he making any money? It's actually down from yesterday. How is he making money? And he says he's long. Like, this guy's a fraud. No, I just sold at the top yesterday and I reloaded the dip in the morning today. Like, you don't know what I'm doing. And I'm also not going to like alert Twitter and tell you like, hey, I'm selling here. Like, I'm not going to do that. So I can only speak for myself. You don't know what I'm doing. So like, you know, if you want to follow along and play the move, you know, go ahead. That's why I share the plays. But if something happens in the market and I got to exit, or I look at the chart and it's turning around, I'm going to get out. I'm not going to like bag hold, or I'll just reload it tomorrow. So it's fine.
There's a lot of there's a lot of scam out there that, you know, they take advantage of having an audience, and, you know,
The pump and dumps.
Yeah, but obviously you have to go do your due diligence of who to follow, which that's how you started, and that's what they gotta do. It's on them.
I think you just have to follow people for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Like, it's pretty obvious. Like, you can figure out like if the person you're following is worth following or not. But I will say this, like, you know, we put our reputation / ego / whatever you want to call it on the line every time we call a stock out. Because if it goes down, then everyone's like, see, your call sucks. And,
so
you know,
take a responsibility that like you feel that's, I think
it's like,
and I do follow you since she mentioned you.
what I noticed, what I wanted to say is, like, I see this all the time where a stock's selling off and people are still they're still in the green, but it's selling off. And they're like, oh, I don't care because I have a low average. And they're like, it's fine. I'm still up 50%. I have a low average. And it's like, before you know it, you have nothing. And it's still going down. No one cares what your average is, but it's still going down. So why are you not taking profit? Well, just because you bought at 30 and the stock's at 60, and now it's at 45, and you bought at 30, and you're like, oh, well, I bought at 30. So why are you not taking profits?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not understanding that. But people do that all the time. And then they switch from, this is the best one. They're like, oh, well, this is a long-term hold for me. So I'm not concerned with the daily price action. Like, yes, you are. You're full of crap. You're 100% concerned with the daily price action. It's not an investment. You're just saying that because you're fucking lying to yourself. And this is what happens. Like, not to put anyone on blast, but like, you have like the, whatever. Let me not cause a lot of drama. But anyway, you realize like a couple of weeks ago, everyone was talking about like this huge stock, and all of a sudden, no one's talking about it anymore. They were all long-term investors. Where are they at? They're all gone. They're all gone already. And it's like, I'm not going to mention any tickers, any stocks, or any people, but like, this is what happens.
One thing I learned, and you'll see me talk about, this is like huge what I'm about to tell you, because I've been around the block before. I know how this works. The companies, they jump on board, they play ball, AKA they put the PR out about the NFT. They're all scams, by the way, but they capitalize. Like, you've been doing this a year, so you probably remember last year. What was big last year? Was it like marijuana or COVID? Right? Everything.
COVID
every company was doing the fucking COVID test. Like, these are the biggest scams. You know it's not real. So when these companies put out like NFT this and NFT that, like, if you've been around the block a few times, you know that shit's bullshit. But there's still some people who really think, like, if they're new to trading, like within the last couple of months, they really think these NFT stocks are going to be huge. Like, they're dumbasses, like, still holding, and within like a week or two, this fad will be over, and it's like yeah, but it's like GameStop. Like, people still think there's kids out there holding for 1,000. Like, most people, like 98% of them are out of it. You know, so it's like, but it's funny because the same way that ended is the same way that everything ends. Where there's still some idiots who think they're holding GameStop for 1,000. Like, there's still some idiots who really think everyone's still holding for 1,000, not realizing like everyone's gone. And like the same thing with like the NFT. You know, I'll guarantee you there's people that really think these NFT stocks are going like so high, but they don't realize like.
Yeah, I've been through that phase, and it was horrible. And trying to come out of it. Actually, when after I traded for some time, and I noticed that there's technicals that go hand to hand with volatile stuff. Like, even then, I was so stubborn. I'm like, no, I don't want to follow these technicals. I want to make my own technicals. This is,
Yeah. So, no, I
went through that whole phase of stupidity because I wanted to create my own path with technicals. And no, the technicals work because everybody else is using them. Like, I'm sorry, like I could have basically like custom made my strategy after I knew enough, but like, there's that common thing that happens. You start if it's going up, I was a victim of that, and then I was a victim of myself being stubborn. So I've had a rough ride. I've done it all. I've done every mistake there is in the world, and I've created so many.
Yeah, well, that's how you learn, though. That's the only way to learn is from making the mistake.
Oh yeah, you have to get your ass kicked, right? In order, because otherwise you're telling people stop buying the top. You're buying a pump and dump. They're not going to listen to you until it's smacking them in the face.
In this business, you have 5% of traders that are able to be successful and consistent. What do you think your edge is? What makes you different than everybody else, do you think?
Charts and my ability to grab bottom is like, there's no one, I say it, I don't care. There's nobody that can do it the way I do it. There just isn't. Because people they're taught to wait for confirmation, but what they're not taught is that when you wait, that's wrong.
Trigger that confirmation. I mean, I can, but it goes against me. So
if I've figured out a way. I'm going to explain it to you. I figured out a way to do it without waiting for confirmation. But if you wait for confirmation, you missed 80% of the move. It's simple.
And what are you saying that, I guess you're, in terms of being able to spot the bottom, like you said, without having to wait for confirmation, do you use technical indicators? Is it more reading price action?
It's a mix of like price action indicators and just like I could just eye it, and it's just kind of like a skill that I have. Like, some of it's a secret. Like, I don't know. I just like know how to do it.
Looking back now, what are the key things you wish you would have known sooner? If you could go back and talk to beginner trader you.
I wish I learned. I wish I learned my strategy sooner. I make the least. I probably make the smallest percent gains in the market compared to like anybody that you know. I probably have hands down the smallest percent gain, but I have massive amounts of small percent gains, 1%, 2%, 3%.
I love that.
But it's with size. It's like sizable positions with 50 cent or dollar moves on like $30, $40, $50 stocks. Winning fucking $125 stock. I'm getting like $3 or $4 moves. Like, yeah, I'm putting up a lot of money, but if these are consistent, $3,000 here, $3,000 there, $3,000 here. Like, it's consistent profits all the time on a daily basis without losing. And it's like, yeah, people can laugh and be like, oh, but I made 50% doing this. It's like, you know, good for you. But all I can speak for is myself. This strategy has been the best for me. And the ironic part is I make the smallest percent gains compared to probably anybody, like percent wise. Dollar wise is different.
What's your mentality on stop loss and profit taking?
I don't know, because I know some people who are like really good traders. I know one guy who's really good. I don't want to like mention his name just because maybe he doesn't want me to talk about him, but I know he uses stop losses and he just keeps raising the stop loss. That's his strategy, and it works for him. And he's a very good trader, and you know, and everyone knows he's good. So he does that. I don't use him because I just kind of like watch the stock. I take profits when I think it's a top, and I don't care if it keeps running after I sell. The other thing I do, like the other day we were playing Blink, and I wanted to play it like Friday. We were playing Blink. I play it like every day, and I wanted it to go. I wanted a dip in the morning. I was expecting a morning dip and then buy the dip kind of thing. That didn't happen. It ended up ripping out the gate. So I didn't want to chase it, so I didn't chase. And I told the chat, I said, I'm not going to touch Blink here. It's going to wait. We waited until the end of the day. If you look up, I actually want to show you this because it's interesting. If you look up Blink, right? This is Friday's action. I literally got, just so you guys can see, I don't know how to do this. Okay. So look at that, right? In the morning, it rips. In the afternoon, it goes right back to where it was in the morning. See that?
Yeah.
So, and then you see the bounce right after that. I alerted that dead bottom bounce right there. And we played the weekly options in the chat. And we got a really nice move right there at the end of the day. But I didn't have to chase. I didn't have to chase up here and then it just fade all day. I was just telling you, I was like, guys, it'll come back. And we literally got almost the same entry that you could have got in the morning just by waiting. And a lot of times that's what I do is like, I don't get FOMO and I don't care if I miss it for that day. If it runs on me, I don't care. When I see it come back and I see what I want to see, then I go in.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, this is great. You know?
That to me when you know that much.
Got a couple stocks you like and just trade them like all the time. You know?
Definitely. You get to know their movements, and I love doing that. I have my list of 10 and just go back and forth, especially if the options are cheap on them.
Oh, it's really good. It's a good way to do it.
What was your aha moment in trading, and how did you take that aha moment and turn it into success? When did it finally click for you?
When did it finally click? That's a good question. It was when I learned the charts. Like I would sit up every night. I tell people this all the time. I would watch futures endlessly for hours and hours and hours and hours. And just perfect like my my skills and strategies as a trader. And once it works, like it's when my whole like thing, like my whole strategy, like the way I read them and everything that I look for, like when it all clicked and I realized like this works every time, all the time. Like that's when I figured out the MACD and the RSI. When I figured out those things, it was like night and day for me for trading.
With indicators, how many indicators do you think people should have a go-to strategy? I think that's the.
You can, everyone has their like chart setup that they like. And then you have people that ask like, I want to copy yours. What do you do? But like, you have to, or they take like something from someone and they take something from me and they put them together and they make their chart. But you can't always put two indicators together. Some don't work with others, and some, like, you need to find stuff that works together. And then you also need to know how to actually make it work for you, like how to make you money. Because you can copy the best trader in the world's charts, but if you don't know how to make them make you money, then it's like pointless. Like, you need to know how the indicators work and what they work with and what they don't work with.
So thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us. I know I learned a ton. How about you, Aria?
Oh my gosh, I learned a ton too. Thank you so much. It's been
Yeah,
really
I had fun.
Will you come back and do it again with us?
Yeah, no, can I come back and just talk shit?
You can. We had to get the interview part out of the way because everyone wants to know. But next time we'll just give you free reign. Just let you go off.
No, I would love to like come back every once in a while and just like I don't know, just like be a third person or just talk shit or just chime in and say whatever. I don't know, but
your introduction does include me calling you an honorary trader, babe. So you're welcome on the team.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Awesome.
No, I honestly, I have fun, but I had fun tonight, and I wish you guys all the best. And I think you guys this was like, I don't know. It's like such a niche, but it's like a void that needed to be filled because there's like so many dudes, who do this, but it's nice to hear like a woman's take. Women always like think differently about, like, they analyze things differently and like think differently. So, I don't know. I'm curious to see like where you guys like take it and like, what your thoughts are on like the markets and stuff. And, I don't know. I hope everything, I think it's going to be great. So.
Well, that was amazing. I know I learned a lot. Did you?
Yeah, I did too. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Me
too. And that means we're done. The first episode of Trader Babes is officially filmed. We're going to launch. We're going to show these boys that the girls are not going anywhere. We're here to stay. And not only that, we're taking over. Cheers. Woo! Cheers, guys.
That was great.
Want more Trader Babes? Subscribe now and connect with us on social media for exclusive content and access you won't find anywhere else. And we'll see you right here on the next unforgettable episode of Trader Babes.